Alright, fuckers, welcome back to practicing Challenge 52. Athoro is my god. Yes, Challenge 52 is essentially a challenge by Athoro, right? Each week is you learn simple forms and you manipulate them. Very, very difficult. Does not take 52 weeks to learn it, in my opinion. It takes probably 5,200 weeks to even become excellent in it, i.e., your entire lifetime. But who am I? I'm Viggy. I've been drawing for 3 years and 6 months, right? The fundamentals is 90% of my practice. This channel aims to serve as a repository of my art practice and to prove that anybody can draw. Granted, they focus on the right things, and there are right things to focus on. I currently only understand line, form, and perspective. This is dog shit, but it's dog shit that looks believable, realistic, three-dimensional, which is all what learning the fundamentals is about, right? Making things look believable. So get your pen, get your paper, and draw along with me. Let's both put effort in together because I truly believe every single one of you is capable of excellence, but that takes work and practice, which you're also capable of. So foster a positive relationship with actually putting in effort because effort is all we can control. Yes, very good intro. Anyways, let's but this is I call this challenge 52, but really I'm rebranding it as fun with forms, as in this is my opportunity during this week where I don't actually do my actual intensive spatial reasoning practice. Believe it or not, this is not my intensive spatial reasoning practice. This is me fucking around, and obviously I'm thinking and actually I'm being intentional, but this is nowhere near as fucking complicated or as cognitively intensive as this, right? Which is where this is like where actually all my spatial reasoning efforts goes, which is my portrait practice, right? That was portrait practice. Doesn't look like portraits, I'm sure, but that is exactly the mental model that I'm building. All the creaking you hear is just my chair. Anyways, let's practice. So I know I made like some really complicated looking, more intensive shapes. Now I want to take a step back and try to think about I want to try simplicity, right? I want to try maybe a little bit more simplicity, and I'm already thinking, by the way, I'm right, like what I mean by simplicity is like not as large shapes. I just want to see how with a few shapes I can create an interesting silhouette, because clearly right now the problem is silhouette, right? The problem is silhouette and being able to think in terms of simple building blocks. That is my current problem, right? It is a problem. It is a blocker. It is something I'm not very good at, right? So I need to take a step back, and I'm purposefully trying to again do this all in a very difficult bottom angle, right? But the current blocker is in fact me thinking in terms of simple shapes. So right now I'm thinking maybe just cylinder, box, right? And we'll see where that goes. I already have a couple ideas where this cylinder box can go, but I need to obviously be thinking about the larger shape inside of it, right? I need to be thinking about the larger perspective. And actually, just for a second, I was making it the same relative perspective as this. So let's shift it a little bit, right? Let's shift it a little bit. Maybe cylinder on the other side, cylinder coming through here, right? Cylinder box. No, I keep making it this perspective. So clearly you can see, well, you can't see, but I'm explaining it right now. My mind, I don't know why I said my mind like that, but my mind really is constantly, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? It seems very attuned, not attuned. It seems it's coping, right? Technically what I'm doing is coping. It is constantly referring to its comfort zone, right? Which is this angle. What I'm trying to do is maybe something much more difficult, like this angle, right? Like this is much more narrow. So that is actually the angle I'm trying to think about. And now that I've actually drawn it out, it's a bit more clear as to what I was trying to do. But again, I'm trying to think about silhouettes, so just something jutting out, something jutting out. What is that jutting out? Cylinder. And again, these cylinders will likely be manipulated, right? This box will likely be manipulated. Length of box, maybe something like this. Maybe this box has a cutout here, but we don't need to think that far ahead yet. I just need to think cylinder, box. And maybe cylinder, box, and then like a box attaching the two, right? Maybe that's actually what I'm going to be thinking about now. But now that I've thought about that, I need to think about the actual perspective. And this angle, because I struggle with it, is beautiful. Because I struggle with it, right? So I need to constantly, and this drawing underneath the background, right? Like underneath on the opposite side of the page, right? This drawing, this one right here, this one, it's an obstruction. This is an obstruction to my visualization, right? And I didn't want to draw today, by the way. I did not want to do the second hour of drawing today at all, right? Yeah, it's my week off, but yeah, I do want to draw more. I want to be more creatively fulfilled, right? So like this is like every time I get into it, I fucking love it, and I'm in it, and I'm trying, and I'm really struggling. But when I'm not, and I'm just fucking mentally gooning over like, oh, should I draw? Should I not draw? The answer is always yes, dipshit, draw. But again, this is an angle I don't do often, so you're gonna see a lot. Look at that. That was already extremely incorrect ellipse, right? Look at that, like that is, and I have to sort of, I literally am gonna have to make some bullshit up to make it look not as bad, but there you go. See, so that's already wrong. Like that's already wrong, you know? And I've already lost the perspective because this is already the incorrect perspective now. Like I've already fucked it up, but I have to still be aware of that. And this is good because this is a challenge, right? Like this is where kings are made, right? Very, very, very non-cringe. Truly, kings talk about how they're kings while they're making lines on a piece of paper, right? Very king-like of you, Biggie. Thank you, Biggie. Anyways, there you go. Okay, so already many mistakes have been made. First of all, perspective from this to this is incorrect. Second, line mistakes have been made, right? Very, very, very clear line mistakes have been made, right? Third, I'm going to lean into these mistakes by trying to draw even more fine details inside of them, and you'll see that they suffer, right? They're still bad, and that's okay, right? Third, the other mistake is the fact that I have to reorient this entire thing because I have, what's it called? I have fucked up the perspective. Now there's like a proportion issue here. I have no idea where this is going. Like my mind is genuinely pretty fucking blank right now. I actually have no idea where this is going, but I'm gonna try, right? Operative word being try, to see what I can do, right? And this is very good. Like I'm glad that I've made such an astronomical mistake, right? Because this, let's see, again, like I can't think of anything. I want to tell you right now, I can't think of anything, right? But I need to think. Like that is the main fucking job that you even have as an artist, is to think, right? But this angle, like I think I made a front plane like this. Like I think this is how narrow it's gotten, right? It's like that. So I need to be thinking in terms of this, like an extremely narrow box. And this is an angle my mind can barely conceptualize at this this size, right? Like at this size I can barely conceptualize it, right? Like at this, and I'm just doing, and what I mean by this, like I can barely visualize this box at this size. So you can imagine how suddenly the scope having been expanded, essentially triple or quadruple in terms of scale for my visualization, is extremely difficult, which is good, right? Like this is something I need. Like this level of difficulty is something we all need. And I actually think it's way more skewed than this, and it's probably even more skewed than this. I don't even know if I put the cylinder in the correct orientation. We genuinely have to be, yeah, like I have to figure things out for sure. Oh, okay, never mind. I think I got it. Okay, so this was my mistake. I was trying to think that this side, like this was the side plane, but it's not the side plane. This can easily be just the top plane, and then this is my side plane, right? So that actually makes it a lot easier, because this just means this is just very foreshortened, like this entire perspective here. So what I can do now is, like, I'm trying to think about how I can connect these, right? And yeah, I can try to think about all the hard surface shit I look at on Pinterest, and I'm like, ooh, I'm really trying to pay attention, but none of that bullshit matters when you're actually trying to draw something and come up with something, right? Very, very, very different skill. So let me try to think. And it's very difficult. Like, what am I trying to think about? I'm just trying to think about a general simple connection, right? And this is the part that's extremely difficult. Like, this is genuinely the part that's extremely difficult. And this is the part where kings are made. I already made that joke. It's just a fucking shit joke. I already made that joke. It's not even a good joke, but this is genuinely the part where you have to really think things through. And I'm just trying to think about, like, the angle I could use, right? And this is like a diagonal. I'm pretty sure this diagonal is incorrect, right? Because this is my box, and then I was trying to do this, and then, okay, is it incorrect? I think it's misaligned, actually. It's not even incorrect, so we could actually bring this a little bit further back, this a little bit further up. Still misaligned. You can see, like, when the distances travel quite a bit, I definitely struggle with keeping things aligned. It still doesn't feel aligned to me at all, but we're just gonna have to go with it. Let me connect it like so, and I'm gonna leave a gap here, and this is like purely me, I guess, trying to ideate design, right? Actually, fuck it, that gap I couldn't even make it because I didn't calculate it properly enough, right? Like between these two. But now the question is, okay, what happens now? Like, how are these actually connected, right? And yes, like my ellipses are bad. Don't get me wrong. Like this in general is bad, right? But now it's like, how do we save this? How do we save this shape? And my brain is struggling quite a bit. I will tell you, it is struggling quite a bit to think about how this could all be saved, right? Genuinely, it's struggling a lot. Let's see. Whew. I have no idea. I have no idea, dude. There's like so much beautiful friction happening in my mind right now just when it comes to ideating this shape and like trying to figure out like what is a silhouette that I could use that looks halfway decent, right? But for the time being, maybe, just maybe, I will make a cutout like this. And that line was really thick, very bad. Let's actually bring this over here all the way, right? Like this, extend this shape out all the way. And then what's happening on the other side here, right? Like how do I want this to... Dude, this is so hard to ideate. Like I can't really think of anything right now, but I'm just trying to think of like what is a silhouette that at least looks halfway decent, right? And this is the thing, like you win some, you lose some, but you lose only when you give up, right? So am I losing right now? No, I'm learning, I'm trying, I'm really fucking up, and that's the best part, right? Like this is me realizing that I have no idea how to draw things in this perspective. Wonderful. Now I'm gonna start to learn how to draw things in this perspective. Wonderful. Now I'm gonna start to learn how to design things in this perspective. I'm learning that I can't think of any fucking silhouette here, right? So I really have to think, be like, because again, it's so easy. It's so fucking easy to just look at shit that people have already done and be like, oh yes, I'm a master. I understand exactly what they're doing. It's really easy, but seeing and then doing, two completely different skills, right? And it's about having the understanding that just because I get technically that somebody did something doesn't mean I actually have any sort of even like fucking semblance of an understanding of what that thing is, right? So that just comes down to humility, you know, knowing what you're capable of and knowing what you're incapable of and knowing that what you want to be capable of you likely aren't capable of, right? It's a beautiful feeling. I'll be completely honest, right? It's like it's always good to humble yourself, right? Because you have to be shit in order to be less shit, right? For lack of a better word, like you have to be garbage in order to be less than garbage, right? And same with this. I'm just trying to zoom out. Again, I'm constantly trying to zoom out and think about the perspective. See, this is, bring it back there. And then, is this a good silhouette? I don't know, but the fact of the matter is I'm trying really hard to think about, okay, like let's put a cutout here. What if I did a cutout, right? Like again, same thing with the other side. That's what I was doing, right? What if I did a cutout? What if I did this? What if I did that? And then let's close that off. And then and again, is this even aligned? I think it is aligned. Invisalign, great for your teeth. I don't know, I'm just trying to shit product placement. But anyways, rest your brain. This is a great problem to solve. I'm really gonna try to figure out how I can make this look not bad, essentially, because right now it looks pretty shit, and that's all, and it's gonna look shit because my ellipses were pretty mediocre, right? But it's great because, like, again, just another opportunity to try to figure something out. But yeah, anyways, let me rest my brain. I encourage you to do so as well. All right. Yum, 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 yum. So I'm thinking if there's a way to interject or intersect some sort of shape in the middle here, right? And that has its own complexities or whatever the fuck, you know? But more than anything, first and foremost, I want to add some sort of shape here that wraps around. right? And we're gonna make it cylindrical in nature. And this is obviously gonna be this. I made that off perspective, so that's a mistake, right? And I love this. I love that I struggle like this. This is the true gooning of the 21st century for artists, right? You goon to furries, I goon to shaky lines. We are not the same. Right? Was that funny? Probably not. But either way, this is it made me laugh. It made me laugh. Right? I said it made me laugh. If anybody can understand that retarded accent, but this is shit that kind of looks mechanical, right? And then I could even do something like it's so this is the thing. I was like, what if I have bent cylinders jutting out of this thing, right? Would that make the silhouette look more interesting? And what if I have a cutout right in the middle, right? Would this look? And oh look, would you look at that? I drew it off perspective, right? Incredible. Now that means it's a mistake. But didn't even mean to burp there. But does that mean it's a little bit more interesting? And as you can see, actually, this is slightly diverging, is it not? This is going this way, that's going that way. So I actually did fuck up the perspective already, I'm pretty sure, to a notable degree. But let's see. Yeah, like I already did fuck up the perspective. But this is beautiful. This is why I love art, because like I just get to fuck up and then try. Again, like what can I do here that maybe tiny little cylinders? Right? Does that make it look more interesting? And these are all questions I'm asking out loud because I don't have the answer to them, right? So now the biggest thing is like what can be done here? What shape can be made here? Or does the shape even need to be made here? Right? Can I do something like this? Because this is starting to look like a car, and I didn't even realize that I was drawing something like that, right? But this is starting to look like a car. So could I do something like this, where this is just, where I just have a cylinder that's jutting, right, out, and then on the other side as well. Now, I don't know if this looks good, by the way. This is purely, like, when I see these things, I'm thinking out loud. I'm letting you know that I am also figuring it out. And I don't know if this is even correct in terms of perspective, right? But, see, like, that line is incorrect. Maybe. Right, I don't know. I don't know. This is looking kind of wonky, in my opinion, but this is how we learn, right? Same thing on the opposite side. I really didn't mean to make a car-looking thing, by the way, but look at that, 17 minutes for something that is pretty mid, right? And then we could perhaps, I could have something like, let's see, what shape could I put in the middle here that kind of makes it look more intentional, right? That's just what I'm trying to figure out. Let's see, what if it's something like this? Okay, no. See, I'm trying to think. Like, I'm trying to think what I could do, really. Well, first, let me, I guess, close this off, right? And I purposefully made this a tiny cutout. So, I guess it's a bit of a variance, and it's just not deep all the way inside that cutout right there. But hopefully you can hear that, like, I really don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and I'm just trying to see what is working. And you can see, like, this, even this is not, like, I didn't align these two properly. Like, this cut in here, and then, like, that doesn't make much sense. Yeah, see, like, that does not make much sense. Whew, very difficult. Very, very difficult. No idea what I'm doing with these shapes, but I'm also very happy that I have no idea what I'm doing with these shapes, because this is where I get to feel good. This is where I'm forcing my brain to be like, yo, this is amazing. You don't know what the fuck you're doing at all. This is great, right? But let's see. Maybe a coil. And this is like pure conjecture, right? Like purely me just being like, no idea what is being drawn here, but perhaps something is being drawn, right? And does it look good? Who knows? Who fucking knows? But I'm gonna obviously draw the opposite end as well, and then we'll do another one like this. And this is all very, very contingent on my line work, as you can see, which is not that good. Which is not that good, right? So you can see the thick lines and everything not kind of blending together. It makes it look pretty meh. And then I guess I'm just going to reflect this on the other side. Before I do, obviously I want to have... See, my lines are really thick right now. Like, but what I'm saying is I'm trying to reflect this bent cylinder on the other side, but obviously I want to actually make sure I draw it over before anything, right? Let's see, trying to... See, my lines are really, really struggling here. Let's just bring that back. Same thing here. And I really am trying to zoom out, and I really am trying to think about all my lines, but I'm simply not good enough, right? I don't have the current skill set to be able to do this to the level of proficiency that I require, or that I desire. But does that mean I don't have that level of proficiency forever? Absolutely fucking not. It is simply a matter of time, right? Well, maybe I could actually do this. Would that maybe be more of a design? No, still kind of looks weird. Still doesn't really, it doesn't really make sense. Like this jut out doesn't really make sense. And we don't really see it on the other side, right? Yeah, we don't really see it on the other side. And then maybe this is like the tiny pockets of detail that is going to be like the little designs, right? Or the fucking the lack of white space. Fucking cannot speak, cannot think, cannot draw. Clearly cannot draw, right? Oh, and I hope anybody listening to this isn't like, if he's saying he can't draw, that means I can't draw. It's like, no, I just have different standards because I've put in more hours than you likely to get to this point, right? Or put in more efficient hours than you likely to get to this point. But you can A, get to this point, and B, and you can have high standards for yourself too. And I'll always feel like I can't draw, like, and that's okay. Like I'd rather be always just feel like I can't draw, and that makes me happy. Like, I personally, just knowing that I can't draw just means like, oh, okay, there's just more work to be done. Like, there's just more shit that I don't know to figure out, right? Like, I don't like, I think I've genuinely just removed myself from just accepting that I just knowing, right? Because my goal is literally to be 30 years into the process, and it's all gonna be recorded, so you're all welcome for that, right? But my goal is literally 30 years from now, still on YouTube, still uploading my process, probably considered quote unquote masterful, right, by many people, or at the very least, like, very excellent by vast majority of like objectively good artists, right? Or just people who have a vested interest in art, right? This is actually pretty cool shape, not gonna lie. Well, the silhouette is pretty nice. At least I got that down. I mean, apart from this middle thing, which I think should have just been much more stout, right? I feel as if this middle thing should have been much more, like much more, like it should have been straight and not diagonal. If it should have been either been straight and small, like gone down straight and then gone in, or it should have been thicker, one thing or another. But this did not make sense, right? Like, this did not make sense. We can try to make it make sense by being like, oh look, actually it's a connector, right? We can try doing that, but that doesn't really make that much of a difference, I don't think. And I like the silhouette, so I'm gonna leave it. But yeah, like, I'll always feel like I am not good, and I'm okay with that. Like, I look forward to that feeling. You know what I mean? Like, I actually enjoy not being good, because the other, what is, personally for me, it's like, what the fuck is the other choice? Being good? Then what? What am I learning if I'm already good, right? Like, I don't deserve, I don't want to, or have the life where I'm just good. This is, if that makes sense. Like, I personally feel as if that's almost like a fucking hell, right? It's like, oh, he's just good. He no longer has to try, right? And thankfully, because I am mediocre by all accounts, I'll never get there. That's the beautiful part, right? Because I'm fucking mediocre, and by the way, I'm just adding like little detailing here now, right? I'm trying to skew the perspective to make it look as if, oh, this is like something that's inside, right? This is a cutout. That's what I'm doing here as well, right? something like that. There you go. See, now these are the tiny details, and now we got white space, and I think my silhouettes actually have gotten a little bit better, even with this drastic fuck up that was this cylinder, right? Like, even with that absolutely abhorrent fuck up, right? It's not bad. And now I can focus on adding perhaps little form indications, right? Not detail per se, because I don't know how to detail. I think it's fucking evident beyond all measure that I have no idea how to detail, right? But what's it called? Like, yeah, I'm really happy. Like, I think I'm just gonna always be happy because I'm just gonna be trying to get better. Like, I don't want to be good. If that may sound odd, but I actually like I and somebody, you know, will be like, you're not good, you're fucking shit, right? I'm sure somebody in the comments at one point will be like, but how could it? Why does he think he's good when he's actually not that good? You're right. You're absolutely right. I am not that good. That's why I'm happy, right? Like, I'm happy that I just get to try, you know. And I think that's the message I always like to encourage people to have, is like, your effort has so much merit, right? And again, like, this shape now ended up becoming two shapes, so now we can actually like try to make it look like it's more detached, right? We can try to make it look like it's more detached. I don't know if that actually made it look like it was more detached, but even here, maybe I can make this a cutout, like so, right? And that can make it so there's actually like an attachment here. Whether that worked or not, I don't know, but okay, that does look pretty cool, pretty complicated. Yeah, I like this, like the smaller shapes and focusing on silhouettes. This is not, again, as you know, I was like, I want cylinder to box and cylinder to box and then thing in the middle. Kind of ended up happening where it's cylinder and then attached in the middle, right? But then this ended up looking, basically looks like a little toy car of sorts. Did not intend for this, right? Did not intend for this whatsoever, but the fact of the matter is, like, I think I'm getting better at thinking, at least a little bit better at thinking about silhouette and like really trying to connect them. And I was struggling my brain here a lot to see how this middle thing could work, and it didn't work, right? This middle thing did not work, and that's good. Like, it did not work, and there's a lot of perspective issues too, which is great. So I'm gonna rest my brain, and we're gonna keep trying to push the whole. I really want to keep experimenting with cylinders and just like constantly figuring out ways to connect them, make them look quote unquote interesting. By interesting, I just mean keep fucking experimenting with like different ratios and shapes and forms and connections and different versions of those shapes, forms, and connections in conjunction with each other through hundreds of repetitions, right? That's what I consider to be ideation. Just sheer trial and error and sheer just like, this length is this, the width is this, fucking cut into this and this, that, does this look good? What if I did this, blah, 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 blah. Cue fucking 500 hours later and I'm like, oh yes, intuition, it looks good now, right? But it's all recorded. You all know there's no such fucking thing as intuition, right? Intuition is based on execution and excellence, right? Which is predicated on hundreds of hours of sheer intentional effort, right? And yes, some people will be able to tap into that experience a lot better. Like, some people will be naturally more intuitive, right? Because they naturally have an affinity towards being able to tap into the behavior of intuition, right? Into the state of intuition, towards the mind state, right, of intuition, which is essentially a merging of technical knowledge and play and curiosity, like all those things, right? And like flow and all that shit. But we can train ourselves. We can train ourselves for anything. Like, it's just possible, right? Again, 3 years and 7 months basically of almost practice, and I can do this, right? I thought this would take me I thought this shit would be like a decade, right? I thought this would take me at least 8 years to get to this point. Nope, 3 years and 7 months. Why? Because it all compounds. It all fucking compounds, right? I genuinely thought, actually, at the very minimum, what I just did right here, like this would take me 6 years to get to. But no, again, just sheer intentional effort, spatial reasoning, the fucking king, the queen, the godfather, whatever the fuck you want to call it, the goddamn monarch, the patriarch, the matriarch, the bumfucker, right? Of art. The holy grail, amen. Anyways, please rest your brain. Please just rest your brain. Alright, wonderful. I actually think my fucking fan died. Give me 1 second. Please. This shit isn't supposed. Oh, never mind. I never turned it on. What the fuck? Okay. Oh, nice. Yeah, no, it's not that at all. I'm just retarded. Wonderful. Okay, let's try another shape now. Let's try another shape. And you see how that took me 30 minutes, basically, to do this, right? And which is, and then this and this are basically like, this is basically two of these, right? So it kind of makes sense, I guess. Okay, so this was supposed to be a bottom angle. Technically, I did end up drawing in this perspective. I did kind of get it down, which is not bad. But, hold up, let me one tiny detail here, right? And you'll notice, like, when I'm less intentional with my lines, things look worse, right? It's not really that much of a shock. When you're not intentional, you're not doing well. It's just as simple, right? Like, your intention is the key. It's literally the key to success, right? It's just constant intention, right? But either way, I want to keep practicing. Like, I want to be able to draw things that have the other side come out, because here I don't think I did justice to this. Like, I didn't make it very clear that it's on the other side as well, right? And like, maybe that line informed it. I don't think it did, right? Because again, my line work is very shoddy, so like a melody in my head. Anyways, this is just need to keep focusing on that. So let's try something else. And I want to see, it's so hard to ideate, but like, first things first, I'm the realist. This is fucking, I need to stop with these shit song references. Jesus Christ. But no, first things first, I need to think about three shapes. I guess we can start with like a general silhouette, right? First, I need to think about the perspective. So why don't we, and I like doing these bottom perspectives, stuff like this. Like, this is basically a top-down perspective, right? Like, technically you could say it's a bottom perspective, but really it's a top-down perspective. Right? It's all depends on where you're looking at. Am I looking at it from here? Am I looking at it from here? Am I looking at, like, it's obviously all relative, but this is very clearly a bottom perspective. I like doing that, so let's start with that. And I want to think box, box, cylinder, cylinder. Can we do something that's interesting just like that, right? So, and okay, see, I'm already like doing this exact perspective, so I need to change it. So we'll shift it like so. And you know what? Let's do some fucking foreshortening. Why not? Because I deserve to struggle with foreshortening, right? So and this will make me think about a much larger box too, right? Good. Okay, so let's see. And I'm purposefully starting with the harder angle. Like, I'm purposefully starting with I'm purposefully starting with the manipulation, right? Like, right now this is not the box, but I'm on purpose, I am making myself start with this box such that I can draw the manipulation, right? Such that I can reverse engineer the box from this manipulation, right? Because I deserve to struggle, right? Am I in extreme cognitive discomfort? No, fucking get to it. Start being uncomfortable, my friend, because that is where growth occurs. And this is something that I've just trained myself to lean into. If you think I was born like this, well, I was a fucking loser for a vast majority of my life, so I very clearly was not born like this. And I don't mean that to be disparaging. All I did was smoke weed, jack off, and play video games all the time. In my opinion, that is the definition of a loser, because I did that for 8 years and nothing else with my life, right? So if someone like me can get to a point like this, when they're relatively skilled in draftsmanship, nothing exceptional whatsoever, because I just understand line form and perspective, and barely at that, but if I can do it, then fucking 100%, like, without an absolute doubt in my mind, right? Any of you can do it. Every single one of you are capable of that. Capable of that, right? Like, genuinely, you are 100% capable of that. So, I mean, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but I'm so inspirational. Oh, I'm so inspirational. Anyways, let's see. See, I made this too close to this thing, but either way, now I deserve to problem solve that, right? It's all a hot pot of deserving, isn't it? But here, this is how we're gonna foreshorten. There you go. Right? And again, like, I'm very, very, very purposefully drawing indicating lines right now. We're not doing anything else apart from drawing indicating lines, right? Because that is how we're going to actually get better. And let's see, like, and by indicating lines, I mean like lines that to me indicate the perspective, right? I don't mean anything else by that, just lines to me that indicate the perspective. And I'm gonna try to add more convergence to my shapes as well, because this will really force me to actually start thinking about the fucking perspective. Because I don't really think about the horizon line that much, I'll be completely honest. Like, I actually don't think about the horizon line that much at all, and that, in my opinion, is not a good thing, right? Like, I do want to be able to see all the foreshortening and all the convergences that I try to see, right? So, again, what is this? What is happening here? Well, it was supposed to be something that was multiple rounded here. Let's see if I can still maintain that multiple roundedness, right? It was supposed to be something that was multiple rounded. I can still maintain it, I'm pretty sure. I just have to be very particular about how I draw these lines. And right now, all I'm thinking about is just how I can manipulate these shapes. That's all I'm thinking about. And this is already incorrect. Like, this is already misaligned to all fucking hell and back, right? So I've already fucked up quite a bit, but that's how we learn, right? Like, that's all I can keep saying. Like, this is just how we learn. These mistakes are what's creating success. So much success, right? And let's see. I want to try something at least a little bit difficult. At least a little bit difficult, right? Because I have a lot of trouble with ellipses. I think everybody has a lot of trouble with ellipses. But me, I especially have trouble with ellipses because I'm better than you at being worse. This is a fucking... Oh, so smart. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. But, yeah, like, I especially do struggle quite a bit. So I want to make sure that I... Let's see. I guess I could just make it part of the perspective. And then cross it over. And then, let's see. Now this is a bet, right? This is just me betting whether I'm going to be able to connect everything here. In terms of perspective, the answer is most likely fuck no. You fucking thought, my guy, you really thought you could understand perspective just because you draw boxes and cylinders, you piece of shit? Right? But father, I really put all my efforts, and effort doesn't matter, it's all about talent. Puppy, please! Don't say it ain't so. Shut the fuck up, this bit isn't even funny, god damn it. But I thought I had a sense of humor, no. Not since grandma died. Don't talk about grandma to me. Oh god, what the fuck am I saying? What am I doing? Wee. Now see, this is the part where my brain is dying. Right? As in, like, what the fuck is this guy drawing? What is he drawing? Why is he drawing the stupid shit? What is he drawing? Right? Let's see. Maybe I can make this multiple rounded. This is the part where I kind of have to problem solve, be like, okay, well, what perspective did I even make? Because this is still, I'm trying to make it a foreshortened perspective. I'm trying to zoom out while zooming in. Funny enough. Right. Let's see. This is just me making shit up, being like, what if I had little subtractions here? Will that make this look less shit? Who knows? Find out next time. Actually, literally right now, the answer is possibly. Possibly. I'm like purposefully trying to make it so it's converging to the bottom here, right? This 1 point down here. Technically, it's a 1 point perspective, I guess you could say, right? And then let's see. We'll just make these cutouts here. I really don't know how this is gonna turn out because I haven't even thought about the what's it called? I haven't even like done any of the actual main thing that I wanted to do. This is just like the face of this shape, but this is really exciting for me. Like, this is honestly very exciting for me because it just tells me that there's so much that I can practice, right? In terms of like the shape design and all that shit. and just making shapes look, I guess, relatively interesting in general, right? Now this is something fun, where I'm actually going to change it up. Completely changing up the original plan. There you go. Things are looking different. Not expecting this, were you? Me neither. Same to same. Same to same. And then what if I have a connection out like that? Will that make it look a little bit better? Right in the middle. Kind of following the perspective. I did fuck up quite a few things. Let's be for real. AF, right? Famo. Look, I'm cringing too, alright? But I have to really think this through. So like right now, it's still been the general silhouette, which I don't even remember what the fuck, this is the fucking problem. I don't even remember what my original silhouette was supposed to be, right? Didn't I want cylinders at the bottom? Fuck, I think I did. But either way, let's see, some sort of connection here. Should I just, what's a nice cutout that I can make here? Should I just make it a large cutout? Sure. I can't really confidently say this looks good, but I don't even know what the perspective is anymore, bro. Let's connect this. And then if we connect this, what would that do? Maybe add like a little line there. Right now, if we connect this, if we connect these two, what will that do? Well, actually, we don't have to connect it. I can just do this. There you go. It can actually just be something that's jutting out and giving it space, right? We want to give space. And then this is going to... There you go. It's going to cover it. There you go. It's going to cover it. That's not bad. That's not bad. But now I definitely need to make sure whatever's happening here complements and gives space to whatever's happening here. So, cool. Not bad at all. These lines are incorrect. But either way... Let me just follow the perspective. Oh wait, shit. That was a mistake, but... yeah, I definitely I fucked that up. But you see, like, these are really basic and boring. Double B, Wambo Cambo, Mambo, right? These are really basic and boring, cutouts that I did. So you can see, like, I really couldn't think of anything interesting at all. But this is how you learn, right? This is me being like, bro, you gotta think of something better than this. Like, you didn't do any sort of what ifs. I didn't do any sort of what if I added this kind of, like, I was just like, maybe, because I couldn't think. I just could not think, right? So anyways, let's rest our brains, yeah? But I still think there's potential to be eked out here. Right? I definitely think I could have done more, obviously, with this, but there's still potential. Like, if I turn these into a tiny little wireframe, or not a wireframe, if I just turn these into subtractions, right? Like, this can be my pockets of detail, and this is good, because my eyes are, like, fucking getting blurry, Jesus Christ, because I can't even focus on this properly, because the lines are so tiny. But if I do end up putting subtractions here, it will perhaps improve the quality, or at the very least fraud some sort of detail and take away from these side shapes that I have made, right? Like, that seems to be better for the time being, right? And then if we have something that, if we just, there you go, tiny little cutouts like that, right? Tiny little cutouts like that. Okay, cool. So now, like, even more than ever, I think we have not even more than ever, but I think definitely we have a little bit more white space leeway. Right, like it's not so bad. Let's see. I'm trying to see through this form. This makes sense. This obviously, like, I didn't cut this out properly at all. Like, I didn't blend whatever the fuck this was supposed to be. This thing in the middle, this shape that I put. I did not blend it properly into the actual form. So that's a mistake, and that's good because now I have to. I really just have to. Like, I have to live with that shit, right? So now here, I have a choice to make. Do I add a shit ton of detail to this shape, or do I let it breathe? I think I'm gonna let it breathe. I think we're gonna just let it be as it is. Right? Oh, that was a fucking mistake. There you go. As you can see, I make a lot of mistakes. But we're gonna let it breathe, right? We're gonna let it... I still don't know what this is, like how I'm gonna connect these, but... Well, actually, this is rounding outwards, and so is this, so nothing is stopping me from doing something like this. And this is where I get to, again, try to think about the box, and then think about perhaps and this could go very wrong, right? But like perhaps a connection to this shape. And I cannot currently really think of something great, but maybe some sort of hinge or something. Like the shape that I'm drawing is nothing special. It's kind of meh. But like I'm really trying to think about like how this actually relates in space, like the shape I'm trying to make, because yeah, I'm really trying to think about that. See, I already fucked up my lines. There you go. What if it's just something like this? And then let's see. It's some sort of manipulated box, which has a cutout in the middle, which also follows the perspective. And it's cut out like right here, and then it's going in like this. That doesn't really make much sense. And it's also because I fucked up that line. But here, maybe it's just going through like that. That doesn't really make much sense. But this is how you learn, right? Like this is just, it's incoherent. I thought I was making sense with this, but I really wasn't. Let's just finish this shape. And we'll just finish connecting it like so. It doesn't really make much sense. I definitely fucked this top up as well, right? But at the same time, now we really need a silhouette that just allows it to fucking breathe, right? Like we really just need a nice silhouette that lets this thing breathe. So what we need to do is extend this, or not need to, but what I think would be good, right? I'm not gonna try to speak in absolutes here, but what I think would be good would be to let this cylinder, so yeah, like my original fucking plan went out the fucking window with having cylinders down here. This is fucking gone to shit. It's just, there you go. And just give it a little bit of flair, right? And here we will close this off like so, right? We will manipulate the shape such that it goes inward and then follows the perspective, and then there you go. And this way we'll also make it very clear that it's wrapping around, like it's actually going around this shape. See? So it's like a sheath. It's like a sheath of sorts, which is nice, right? That looks kind of interesting. And then, see, this is a good amount of white space. I like this. This is a good amount of white space, right? And I feel like it leads the eye nicely too, to like whatever this is. So now clearly whatever we have here has to remain being, not clearly, I say these words clearly like, oh yes, we're Eureka, but what I'm trying to say is the fact that my mind is like, clearly, if this is going this way, we don't want to cloud this area, so we must balance it out this way. This is basically what I'm thinking, right? Like, I'm just thinking like, okay, what is balance? What is leading the eye, right? Like, what is all this? Like, what does it mean, right? So, I'm trying to think, like maybe, because I do want to have more cylinders. Me and my fucking cylinder obsessed nature, I guess, for the time being. And you see this line is pretty meh, but, and there you go. I definitely seen a lot of this in like those Gundam / mech designs, right? Ta-da. So that's nice. Looks mechanical, right? This was a bit of a fuck up, but the thing is, like, I like my intent. My intent here wasn't bad. I just didn't know exactly what the shape I was drawing was. It looks kind of mechanical, but I could still make it look a lot more unnecessarily complicated if I just add this little cutout here, right? And then we darkened it like so. That just tells me that, hey, there's like some shadow, some sort of handle, some sort of fuckery going on. Who fucking knows? I'm not gonna tell you that I know what this is. Actually, I'll tell you I don't know what this is at all, right? Like, I literally don't know what this is at all. But either way, let's not put too many shadows. That's gonna take away from the entire shape, right? So, let's see. And maybe we want a little bit more complexity here, just a little bit. I always like adding more roundings or like affirmations, I guess you could say, to cylindrical shapes. It just makes them look more complex, right? And then this is like where all the eye is led, right? Especially if I did something like this, where I added little form indications, you know, following the ellipse, of course. And this is obviously just great line practice for me as well, right? That's like, oh, okay, the eye is being led there, you know. Now it's like there's definitely some shit going on here, and that gives me the liberty, hopefully, to figure out what the fuck I'm gonna be doing with the sides over here, because I do like the silhouette. I actually do really like it, right? I think this is actually pretty cool. I think I've created a cool looking shape at the very least, even though I don't like the things that I've drawn on the side, and I don't think there's a way to fix them either, right? Because I've already placed a bunch of lines that would be in the way. Maybe, let's see, is there something that can be done, right? I don't think so, right? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think there's much that can be done for this. And this, like this thing that I drew in the middle, absolutely fucking is stupid as shit. But maybe actually we can bring that back as a motif to just to be like, hey, look, it wasn't a one-off. it exists. And this could, again, I want to be very clear, this could very, very, very clearly, very easily just be stupid, right? Like, I want to be very clear. Like, this, nothing about this is like, wow, what incredible acting, or what the fuck, what incredible drawing, acting. That was just made no sense. But yeah, like nothing about this is incredible. But let's see. Yeah, let's again ignore that diagonal because that's not the perspective. There you go. There you go again. And then let's just connect it like so. Connect it out here, and then maybe, fuck it, add another subtraction that goes up like that. And that looks kind of legit. That looks kind of legit. As you can see, there's a lot of like unevenness, right? There's definitely a lot of unevenness. Unevenness, but overall, I think I've managed to make it look decent, but I actually just got a great idea. So I'm gonna rest my brain, and then we're gonna spend the last little bit. I think I'm finally gonna be able to add those two fucking cylinders I wanted, and it's gonna be jutting out here and here. And that's gonna be sick. Now that's actually gonna be sick. So, and this is great. I got the bottom perspective. This is exactly the perspective I wanted to get it in, which was this. right? Something like that. This is basically the perspective I wanted to get it in, right? And I got that, so that's pretty good. I'm not shit with perspective. At least not as bad as I thought I was, right? But this is great. This is great practice to zoom. It's amazing, bro. I'm learning how to zoom out while also like thinking about silhouette and thinking about like the shapes while also thinking about like the little details. Like this is amazing. It's actually fucking so good, right? And even I just realized like to make this even more look, because I've realized like a lot of mechanical things and houses do this too, and this is based on the house drawing I did in last session that I showed, right? But like there's just always little divots or like little additional subtractions and shit. Like I can do it again here one more time, right, without taking too much away from the white space, right? And it's amazing because this is just gonna frame the center, right? And then I can just do this. Look, another fucking rounding, right? Ta-da, right? And then obviously with line weight, I can, even if everything is distracting from it, I can just be like, nope, sorry. Look, this is the main focus. By the way, I'm not saying that I know line weight or like this is how you'd go about doing line weight, but I'm just saying like it's amazing how even with my lack of knowledge that I can be like, oh no, look, I still know how to make things be the more important focal points, right? Focal points. And that's pretty awesome. You know, that is pretty fucking awesome. I can even literally do something like this. I actually do think I should black out. But this is also a challenge, by the way. Like, this is very difficult because this is me. Fucking my eyes are like zooming out and like getting blurry because this is basically me trying to really control my pen pressure. Like, really control my pen pressure because. Like, when I do shit like this, bro, I literally don't even know if I see the fine tip of the pen. Fucking, this is so hard. This is so fucking difficult. I know I'm sounding extremely monotone, being like, oh, this is so hard, but it's actually so difficult. But this is good. See, I fucked that up there. Like, this middle one now, or this one on the right. Can't really see it that well. And there's like a lot of tiny little white spaces, right? The era of white is gone. It is time for the black, right? But, yeah, cool shit. And maybe, this could be wrong, maybe we can lead the eye. And again, this is how I can implement foreshortening, right? There you go. See? That might be cool. So I don't know if it is cool, but that might be cool. But now I definitely have the idea for what I want to do for these two shapes jutting out. This is fucking awesome, bro. Fun with forms indeed. Definitely feel like I'm getting more confident. And because I'm being more intentional, like I'm definitely being able to think more about like the types of shapes I want to draw and like what I want to do with them, right? This definitely looks like maybe this doesn't look like a spaceship, but I think it looks like a Gundam part, a spaceship part. It looks like mecha. To me it looks mecha. So I'm clearly learning a little bit. But anyways, let's rest our brains. Let's get that rest in. Gap effect, very important. All right, so I need to be very careful about how I approach these next two cylinders that I want to draw to this because this can genuinely make or break the silhouette. So obviously I have to take the perspective into account. So I think it has to be something that's jutting out this way because because it's also like it's converging, right? So normally if this was just like if this was a box that wasn't converging that much, I'd be obviously what I'm doing is I'm thinking about this diagonal and I'm thinking about this diagonal. Right? And then I'm thinking like, okay, how does that approach from here? But because it's converging quite drastically, right? Like it's converging quite drastically, the diagonals themselves are also much more condensed and more narrow, right? So that's why I was already thinking this, but it's gonna be something like this and something like this, right? And on top of that, they have to connect and make sense a little bit. So if we're gonna see through the form, right? We're gonna see through the form, we're gonna bring down, this comes down all the way back here, right? So obviously what that means is it's connecting somewhere here, right? Up here somewhere. So that means these have to be pretty thin. So I'm thinking something like this, right? Something like that, right? Because it's connecting up here, and it's connecting up here, so something like, okay, I may have made that one a bit too high, but because I've already committed. And then I'm trying to think about the perspective as well. Let's see, something like this, right? That's the extent of the silhouette, and now we're going to have to make it work, right? We're gonna have to make it work, and I've already kind of misaligned these a little bit, but that's what I was thinking, is like this back of this comes up here, so we can have something that's jutting out through here, right? Whether it makes sense or not, leave it up to the fucking imagination, but that's what I was just trying to do. So what I can do is something very quote-unquote simple, right? But not really that simple, but we'll just make this a normal cylinder first, right? Just a normal cylinder. Obviously trying to think about it in perspective as much as possible. Bless me. And then we'll connect it back. And this is also a great exercise for me in actually learning how to make something as simple as a cylinder. Cylinders are not simple, I understand that, but something as simple as a cylinder for me currently, right? Because I get it, cylinders are not fucking simple. In no universe are cylinders simple at all. But being like, okay, now just with the normal cylinder, what can I add? And the answer is probably just some even and even yet different manipulations, right? Or like little designs. So something like this could, and this is obviously like I'm condensing them because I'm trying to show that they're much further back, right? And this is a great, again, these are always great opportunities for me to think about the perspective and also just zoom out and focus on my lines. I don't think that worked. That made sense. So zoom out and think about the perspective and then focus on my lines. That's what I was trying to say. But as you can see, I always fuck everything up when I'm trying to think. Right? So this is zooming out that way. And then we have... There you go. And I'm really trying to think as much as I can here. That line was a mistake. I could have gone a lot better. There you go. This is hopefully to show that the perspective, like they are jutting backwards, right? But I could have mistaken this and gotten it wrong as well. Let's not forget. In fact, it's most likely wrong. And let's see. Maybe these are too thin. Maybe I made these too thin, but that's okay because I'm still going to try to think about, this kind of looks like a space station, I guess now, who knows? I'm still trying to think about what I could do with these shapes, right? And perhaps inflating them isn't a bad idea. Right, I'm just genuinely trying to think about the perspective and like trying not to fuck this up too much, right? Yeah, I'm just trying not to, and I think the perspective's already gone to shit a little bit, or it could be a lot of it, but let's see. Yeah, see, like I already fucked it up here. Like this is actually completely wrong. So, okay, so beautiful. I made a mistake. Like I couldn't think this through properly, but I just have to commit anyways and see how I can make this look not as bad, right? Like, cause these back shapes don't really look like they're foreshortened that much anymore. But, see, now this looks like this is jutting out from the front, right? So it was supposed to be from the back, but I couldn't, I did not do the perspective correctly. It's as simple as that. But maybe, actually, there is hope. Maybe there is hope yet. Which, as a wise Hawkeye once said, don't do that. Do what? Don't give me hope. Too bad. He's doing it right now. Look at him. He's hoping all over the fucking floor, bro. What are you gonna do about it? Right? There you go. Maybe that makes it look like it's from the front again. Well, this is supposed to be foreshortened anyway, so like either way, there's some issues happening here. perspective-wise. Oh, I think the big thing is I didn't make this foreshortened, actually. That is definitely the big issue. Right? Or that is likely the big issue. If anybody sees anything otherwise, you can let me know. I probably will never see that comment because it's been years since that point, but until then, matane. Yeah, like this is supposed to be the perspective, but I definitely fucked these up quite drastically. Unless we can just kind of make some sort of connection here. Right, look, totally has the Dragon Balls, yeah, totally. There you go. Connects to this. And then, I don't know. Yeah, that doesn't really look like it's jutting backwards. So, okay, it's 100% a foreshortening thing. 100% a foreshortening thing. This should have been, if I wanted to connect it here, this should have been way more foreshortened. So it's just a foreshortening problem. So, perspective is still sound, but now this just looks like it's jutting more outward and downward rather than backwards, right? These two shapes, which is fine. Like, I understand what the problem is now, which is the good thing, right? Like, I understand what I did wrong, and that's really all that matters, which is why going slowly is something I advise to most of you, right? It's like, take your time to analyze what you're doing, but you have to find your own balance, right? If you're spending like fucking 5 minutes going like this, then you can try to speed up a little bit, right? You are given that liberty. But again, if you're thinking really fucking hard, then I would actually still say that's fine, right? For me, it just comes down to how hard are you thinking, how hard are you trying, and how hard are you jerking, right? I stuttered a little bit there. How hard are you jerking? Not are you jerking, right? Oh, please excuse my English. I'm a foreigner. I'm an immigrant, right? I wonder how many people are actually not immigrants at this point. Right? How many people can say, I was born in this land, we enslaved the natives, right? How many of you can say that proudly? That's the real question, right? But either way, I think this is okay. This is a cool looking shape, nothing impressive, but probably my most unique silhouette so far. I'm still nowhere near the level of hard surface proficiency that I would like to be, obviously, because it's going to take me at least 100 hours to get even halfway there, let alone a quarter there, right? Like, actually, it should have been the other way around to get a quarter there, let alone halfway there. Whatever, the point is, it's gonna take me hundreds of hours to even get to fucking half of where I want to. But, yeah, fuck, this was cool. This was, again, I'm so glad I drew. Again, like, I'm quitting caffeine for anybody who doesn't know, right? So this is like day 5 or day 6, I think, and it's just you don't really feel motivated to do anything. Obviously, it's fucking on me, right? Being dependent on a drug that is literally fake energy, but there are no free lunches in nature. Right, that's all you need to know. There are no free lunches in nature, and I don't know like what these little cables are, but overall, like even with my energy not really being there, like the fact is I'm still trying really, really hard, and I'm somehow creating pretty cool shit to an extent, right? At least in my opinion, I feel as if I'm getting a lot better, which is pretty cool. Feels good, man. Feels good, right? Just more intentional, trying to really figure shapes out. Actually, like what I'm really proud about is like I'm even though the connections are mid, but I am trying to connect things like properly. Like I'm actually trying to figure out how things are drawn through and how they're connected and where they can be connected. Like even though it's not incredible whatsoever, there's nothing incredible, like even mildly interesting about this, right? To my standards, by the way, to my standards. Overall, great session. Hope you put a lot of what the fuck? I hope you put a lot of fucking effort in. Jesus, I cannot speak. Hope you put a lot of effort in. I hope you really tried. I hope you had a great fucking drawing session, right? And as always, right? Fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, and please give me money.